issues with rage, and he might be very good at hiding that fact as well, that he has rage issues, but he hides it very well, and he deals with that side of himself, trying to control others. Now, the next cards represent him. It's the Strength card. So this is a very disciplined sort of person. Again, this card speaks of values, of principles. This is a person, at least the way he sees himself, it's as someone who is has a very strong integrity. That's how he sees himself. That someone who has strong values, strong conservative values, someone who is very self-disciplined, someone who has integrity. Now, you might not agree with his values, but to him, these are the right values. Very strong person, very willful. Doesn't matter how long it takes to achieve whatever he or he wants. It's a guy, it's not a woman. It's a guy, I'm sorry. He might have something in Leo. He might belong to the generation of Pluto in Leo. I belong to the generation of Pluto in Libra. So he might belong to the generation of Pluto in Leo, because the Strength card is connected with Leo. Or he might have something in Leo. For instance, he might have rising sign in Leo, he might have Sun in Leo, he might have Moon in Leo, but he might have something very strong on Earth, which I'm thinking Capricorn. I'm going to give you an example. This person could have, for instance, a rising sign in Leo and Saturn on his rising sign in Leo, which would give him a very strong Earth flavor, for instance. So this is a very self-disciplined person. He can contain his impulses. He can discipline himself. He has strong moral values, the way he sees it. Okay. And this is a clarification card, which I don't understand exactly how to read. The clarification card. Like, there's two figures here, and the two of them, like, one has his eyes closed, the bigger, and the other one has his eyes open. So maybe there's like this fighting inside of him. Maybe there's like another quote-unquote person inside of him. How do I say? Not person, another part of his personality that he needs to keep hidden, that he needs to hide, that he needs to control. There's a part of himself that he needs to hide and he needs to control. And he needs to do this in a very willful way. He needs to exert a lot of self-control. This person is completely different from Donald Trump. This person wants to appear humble and smart, and at the same time, this person has a very strong ability to contain part of himself, to control part of himself. Unlike Donald Trump does not contain himself, does not control himself. This person does. This person can control himself completely. There's a part of him that he does not want others to see, or himself to see. There's a part of him that he just willfully keeps hidden, does not want that part of him to see the light. And he needs to exert an extraordinary amount of self-control. Again, this is the next president. I don't know who it is, okay? It could be Mike Pence, not necessarily. I don't know who this person is. Very controlling person of himself and of others. And he appears again like this. He appears to be joyful, somehow joyful, but like in part of him, inside of him, is not exactly happy, because there's an important part of him that he needs to hide and contain. But this part is like asleep, being forced to be asleep, but he's not all that happy to make this part of him sleepy, quote unquote. However, how he appears to others is, this little face, almost like joyful. He appears to others. His facade does not speak of truly how he feels, and his facade could be of a more or less happy person. Or the way he appears is like someone who's always smiling. Could be that. Now, others, people surrounding him, or how others see him. It's cold in Portugal. Okay. King of Swords. How others see him. It mirrors the cards of what's in his mind, or that which he wants. We have the Queen of Swords, and this card that to me it's like the humble card, the person appearing humble, and it's more or less the same thing, because others, there's the King of Swords, so he appears to be to others as a very smart person, the opposite of Donald Trump, someone who has a very long held strategy, someone intelligent, competent, all of that, someone who says the right words at the right time. And this is the clarification card. And again, to me, this is the humble theme. It's a woman, and she's carrying water. To me, she's doing housework. And there's this sense of humility. A very strong person who humbly does the work. Who does the work in a very humble sort of way, but happy way. You see how this this person is smiling? The figure is smiling. So this is how he appears to others. This is how others see him. They see him as someone who is competent, someone who is intelligent, but someone who is willing to do the work with a smile on his face. And the normal work, the humble work, he's willing to do the humble work. This is how he appears to others. Another way of reading it, if this is a woman, there's a strong woman who backs him up, that I would say it's his wife, a very humble woman. A woman who's happy to be with him, a woman who's happy to serve him. But yeah, a woman who's happy to be with this guy who's an intelligent person. But she could be intelligent herself. Maybe it's the woman who appears to be humble. Maybe his wife, the fact that she's humble, she's down to earth and humble. This is the exact opposite of Donald Trump. So this guy is going to appear intelligent, at least he wants to appear intelligent. This guy wants to appear humble and self-contained. These are all things in direct opposition to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not humble. Donald Trump does not contain himself. Donald Trump thinks that he's smart. He might be very smart, but not in a way that is apparent to others. So this guy, this new president, number 46, is smart in terms of strategy, long-term goals, and smart enough to shut his face, shut his mouth. And his wife, this person's wife, the next president's wife, is going to be the opposite of Melania. She's going to be down to earth, and she's going to be at least appear humble. Humble, down to earth, and happy to be at the side of her husband. Because Melania isn't happy. She's not happy. And everybody knows this. But she's not. The next president will have a wife with the opposite of Melania. It's going to be the opposite of Donald Trump. His wife is going to be down to earth. His wife is going to be humble. I don't know how Melania is, but it's going to be at least appear to others as more humble. Maybe because she doesn't dress the same way. Maybe because she doesn't have the background of being a model or something like that. Maybe she will go out of her way to not wear luxury, and she will be happy to be at her husband's side. It's the opposite. It's all the opposite. It's the opposite of what the US has right now. Now, the next two cards are in the position of hopes, wishes, and advice and dreams. To me, this is a dream. It's the Star. The president number 46 has this dream of becoming president for a very long time. He has a wish of becoming president for a very long time. And again, there's another card holding the light. He has held on to the light of his dream, of his wish of becoming president for a very long time. He wants this. He wants this. And to him, it's almost like a spiritual quest to become president. This somehow speaks to him. It's like he will be more like a religious leader. That's his wish. He wants to be more like a religious leader as a president. Like he wants to give light to the hearts of the people. It's more, he might speak in these terms of words. He wants to give light to the hearts of people. He wants to ignite their spirituality. He wants the US to become a spiritual light in the world. He wants the US, that's his wish. He wants the United States of America to become a spiritual light in the world, a spiritual model. He wants the US to become a spiritual model to be followed by other countries in the world. And he wants to play that part. He wants to be a model himself of how a president or a leader of a country should behave. Not just in terms of politics and economics, but also in terms of spirituality. So he might go to church a lot or something like that. He might be in the news as the president just went to the church, to the services. Like every Sunday he's gonna go to the church or something like that. So this is not something faked. This is something that he truly believes in. It's from his heart. It's from his very soul. He believes in this. Okay, this is not fake. He truly believes that he's right in terms of his spirituality. And maybe his wish is to bring the light to the world in those terms, in terms of what he thinks is right, what he believes is right. And again, there's like a sense of being humble. This card to me is another guy being humble. He wants to humbly bring the spiritual light of God to other people, to everyone, in a very humble sort of way. You know, the humble thing. The humble thing is like strong here. Being humble. Humble. Very, very strong here. But his values are strong. Okay. The outcome. He might get the job.